The modern rich and famous in the West are often passionate about luxury brands. On social media, displays of Chanel, Hermès, and other Western labels are everywhere, and these brands have become symbols of wealth. Joe Yukin, a wealthy Singaporean woman with a fortune of about $1.15 billion, has chosen a completely different path. Instead of Western luxury, she favors the Chinese cheongsam. Whether in daily life, business settings, or formal banquets, she consistently chooses to wear cheongsam. The elegant lines of the cheongsam amplify Joe Yukin's Eastern charm and give her a distinctive public and business image. Many people outside Singapore may not recognize her name, but within the country, she is widely known. She is the only woman on Singapore's Forbes rich list. Joe Yukin's wealth and business empire did not come from her father, but from her grandfather, Chen Zhengchuan. Chen Zhengchuan was once a formidable figure in the business world. His family background was significant. By the time he was born, the family was already deeply involved in real estate and finance. Chen Zhengchuan was also an outstanding student at Cambridge University. After returning home, he joined the family's overseas Chinese banking corporation and spent many years working tirelessly. By the 1980s, the bank had grown into one of the world's top 500 financial institutions. Chen Zhengchuan's father had also served as the general manager of the bank. It could be said that this was a truly wealthy family. Many people assume that being born into such a family means a life of comfort without effort, because their starting point is often the finish line for ordinary people. But in real elite families, there is never a generation that can simply rest on inheritance. Their true wealth lies in their work ethic and life wisdom. In Joe Yukin's childhood memories, her grandfather slept very little. He worked at his desk almost year-round. He would come home around 6 in the evening, rest briefly, then return to work after dinner. He often went to bed at 10 and woke again at 2 or 3 in the morning to continue working. This discipline and attitude toward life were passed down to Joe Yukin. Her grandfather believed that anything worth doing required the right attitude. The white Western-style house built in the 1930s, which he purchased from Tan Kah Kee, became the place where he spent nearly 2/3 of his life, until his death in 2005. After her grandfather passed away, Joe Yukin transformed the house into a social space for the Chen Zhengchuan Foundation. She preserved many of his belongings, including his chair and hundreds of pages from his diaries, displayed in glass cabinets like a small family museum. As a child, Joe Yukin grew up in this house, which had Southeast Asian architectural features and stood in the heart of Singapore. The large courtyard carried her and her siblings through their childhood and also welcomed many prominent political and business figures. Leaders from neighboring countries and well-known entrepreneurs were frequent visitors. Joe Yukin not only grew up in material abundance, but also witnessed many historic moments and influential conversations. Chen Zhengchuan did not believe in favoring sons over daughters. He believed that success depended on talent and ability, not gender. Joe Yukin's mother, his second daughter, followed her own interests and became a lawyer. Joe Yukin herself initially had no desire to enter business. She studied law and dreamed of becoming an excellent lawyer. However, she did not work long at a law firm before her grandfather personally invited her to join the family company. They made a clear agreement. If she could not adapt within 2 years, she would be free to pursue another path. Once inside the company, Joe Yukin quickly realized how demanding her grandfather was. The first document she submitted was revised 8 or 9 times before it barely met his standards. The experience deeply shocked her, but his strict guidance produced results. Under her grandfather's discipline, Joe Yukin matured rapidly. His self-discipline shaped her character. He was known for his strong self-control and never indulged in pleasure. Even habits he once enjoyed, he could abandon immediately if advised by doctors. This mindset left a lasting influence on her. Before her grandfather passed away, the family faced a severe crisis due to sudden policy changes. On his deathbed, he held Joe Yukin's hand tightly and asked her to do her best to preserve at least one of the family's companies. She promised him she would try everything. After that, she worked closely with the Lee Kuan Yew family and competed fiercely in the business world, eventually achieving success. Her grandfather was not a man of many words, but he taught through example. He often told Joe Yukin not to ask too many questions, but to observe quietly and think deeply. Step by step, under his strict expectations, she grew from a law student with no business experience into a capable successor. From then on, the name Joe Yukin became widely known in Singapore's business circles. She not only fulfilled her grandfather's final wish by preserving the company, but also built her own identity. She was no longer known as someone's granddaughter, but as a businesswoman in her own right. Her signature Cheongsam style also began to draw attention worldwide. People realized that Cheongsam could be worn in many ways, suitable for almost any occasion. In daily life, she chose simple designs that appeared gentle and graceful. At formal events, her Cheongsam conveyed understated luxury and depth. Each piece was custom-made by renowned tailors, with exceptional craftsmanship in fabric and design, often surpassing the value of mass-produced luxury brands. For Joe Yukin, true luxury was never about labels. It was about taste, discipline, and substance. Although she came from a prominent family, she remained mysterious and low-key, rarely appearing in public. At major banquets, she wore elaborately embroidered cheongsams with pearls, perfectly matching the grandeur of the occasion. At official events, she preferred velvet cheongsams that conveyed quiet authority. Her aesthetic sense was exceptional. On every occasion, she chose exactly the right attire, never wearing anything out of place. These cheongsams, all handmade, were invaluable not because of branding, but because of craftsmanship and meaning. Her grandfather passed away in 2005. His greatest pride in life was preserving a Chinese bank, and Joe Yukin did not disappoint him. In the year of his death, the family business faced unprecedented challenges. Through relentless effort and determination, she stabilized the company and achieved remarkable success. At the age of 42, Joe Yukin inherited her grandfather's estate, with a net worth estimated at over $1.1 billion. She redefined luxury in her own way, combining morality, taste, and social responsibility. She was willing to help those in need and carried elegance and confidence from within. To the outside world, little is known about her personal life. Her marital status and family details remain private. Yet Joe Yukin has set an example for many women. She shows that a woman can shine in her own field with grace, discipline, and strength. As Thomas Edison once said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% hard work." We cannot choose the family we are born into, but we can shape our future through effort. Joe Yukin reminds us to stay focused, disciplined, curious, and brave. In a world full of temptation, remembering who you are is what matters most. We may not have the background Joe Yukin was born into, but we can still choose to become women of substance like her. No matter what field you are in, commit to your work and respect it. Be willing to take on challenges, step outside your comfort zone, and test your limits. Give your full effort. Stay disciplined and never stop learning. True success is not about showing off wealth, but about living with purpose and integrity. Joe Yukin's life is a quiet reminder that confidence does not need to be loud, and elegance does not rely on labels. In the end, becoming the best version of yourself is the greatest achievement anyone can reach.